All right, Sandy, thanks for taking a drive with me today, and it's been great to have you aboard. So I've been following your page. You are an esteemed author and a founder of an amazingly successful page on Instagram called Other People's Homes. So I've been following you for years, but for those that haven't followed you, or maybe you're about to, tell us all about it and what is Other People's Homes about?
Well, firstly, so much fun to be here in this beautiful car, Damian, and I love being called esteemed. That's one of the better things I've ever been called. Other People's Homes is an Instagram page of photographs that I take while I'm wandering around anywhere in Australia. And I just take pictures of things that take my eye, and a lot of them really border on the old.
And the reason I've chosen this car for you today is you live and breathe quirky homes every day. And I couldn't think of anything more quirky and out there than this Citroen DS, which is what we're driving today. It's in a beautiful cream white with this cognac interior. And isn't it absolutely stunning for its era, don't you think?
Oh, I think this is the coolest car I've ever been in. And actually, I think I've just got like a tiny % cooler by even being in it.
It is a cool car.
It's just wonderful. And I see the pictures that I take, yes, the houses are quite often really quirky. And they've got all these terrific finishes to them, like this car.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, modern things. I don't want to sound like an old person. I mean, I am an old person. But why just design something totally functional when you could design something that's functional and beautiful? And the same can be said for houses.
Exactly right. And that's why I've got this car for you.
It's also the most comfortable car I've ever been in. In fact, it's more comfortable than the couch I've got at home.
Oh,
it's like this rolling armchair. It's just fantastic.
Because we've got this sort of hydraulic suspension, we've got these seats which are about half a metre thick. It go right up to your back and it's very comfortable, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
Just beautiful.
And what everyone can't see is this really cool dashboard.
Yes.
Just
And this steering wheel, I love this steering wheel that comes out like an elephant tusk or something. It's absolutely fantastic.
You know, I didn't think I was a car person, except now I think I am a car person.
By the end of this, you'll be a car person for sure.
Yeah, and then I'll want one of these.
When they launched it at the Paris Motor Show, they got 80,000 pre-orders for the car.
80,000?
80,000. And that record has stayed with the car all the way up until when Tesla brought out the Model 3. So that was the record for the most pre-orders from a new car. So it shows you how much impact it had on people and why it's sort of renowned as this sort of most amazing design icon. I mean, if you're a details person, I mean, you lose your mind in this car. I mean, everything you look at is different and quirky and out there and not normal in any way, shape or form. And even when I picked it up this morning, the owner needed to give me a sort of crash course on how to drive the car because it's got this peculiar button brake rather than a pedal, and it's got these petite little pedals which my big 13 size flippers are covering immensely. So it's absolutely hilarious, but I can't stop smiling after driving this car this morning, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping someone sees me sitting in it and I just do one of those little sort of royal family waves out the window.
We should have put our berets on as well, though.
And it's really nice to be a passenger, actually, so I can look at the houses, because I'm a bit of a liability on the road, really, going, oh, that looks good.
Well, we're in the southeast of Melbourne today, and we're looking at some pretty beautiful suburbs, very leafy, and I think this car's really at home here. But I might even pick your brain on, now that we're in the right area, I think I might even get you to show me a couple later if you can, because I'd love to see a couple of the homes that I think you've said that it might be around here. We're not too far away, so we might even stop off along the way soon.
I'd love to do that. The owners will come out and go, God, not her again.
All that sort of architectural sculpturing.
It's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. Letterbox too, matching.
Wow.
And these things on the, things on the side, they're on a lot of the Holger and Holger houses. Yeah.
Love it. I wouldn't change a thing, except for the street number. Don't like that.
That's probably original though.
Yeah, maybe. There wasn't as many options back then.
Recently someone gutted a similar house to this, and they put the fireplaces out in the street.
No way. Tell me about other people's homes, because I'm always thinking, you go to find all these amazing homes all around Australia. How does that even come about? What got you started?
It actually started, I've always been a bit of a wanderer and a Mrs. Mangle sticky beak type. And then my dog died, and I spent a couple of days lying in bed being sad, and then I couldn't stand being in the house with the house empty, and I know that sounds really weird, so I started walking like a maniac, and the next thing you know, I was sort of Forrest Gump meets Cliff Young, and taking pictures, because I was in Victoria and I spent most of my life in New South Wales. And Victoria has really interesting houses. So took some pictures, whacked them up on Facebook, and then thought, oh, I might make an Instagram page. And then what do you know? I think that the success of the page, well, why there are so many people following it, if that's a measure of success, is it's because what I see, I think, is hidden in plain sight. And people get in touch and go, where's that? And I say, it's a DY, and they go, no, it isn't. And I say, yes, it is. And they've been past it every single day and they haven't seen it. Yeah. Or I've put up a picture that looks like your nana's house.
Yep.
So it looks like we used to go for your summer holidays and, you know, trample all over her garden and she got cranky. I take pictures of old fibro beach shacks where we all used to go before there was Bali and Dream World to have a holiday. I suppose I'm showing people things that they can see, and this started during COVID where everything felt a bit uncertain, and I think people got quite into comfort watching, comfort eating, comfort reading, and I think they like to say things that were familiar.
And that's probably a good source of inspiration. You walk the streets and then find the houses and...
Well, it's a good kind of hobby, isn't it? I should actually look really, really fit, I think. I should look like somebody that walks all day. But of course, while you're wandering around, you do find some interesting bakery treats to eat. And sometimes the people come out of the houses and offer me biscuits.
Well, you told me that some people invite you in as well, which is great.
They do, which I think is really lovely. And most of the time, that's okay. I did have one bordering on scary experience, but I think on the whole, I don't think I look dangerous. I mean, somebody called the cops on me in a suburb of Melbourne, but I don't know, I guess they thought I was casing the joint, and the nice policeman asked if I lived here, and I just laughed. People have, as they ask what I'm doing, of course I tell them, and they, I delete the picture, you know, I don't want to do that. I'm standing on the street, so I'm not doing anything illegal.
Anyone that watches the page or looks at anything that you do, it's all very positive. It's celebrating the house, it's not making fun of anything. It's all positive, isn't it?
Yes, and I watch those comments like a hawk. I don't say negative things about the houses. I don't make malicious fun of the houses, and I don't allow the people who comment on the page to do that, because every single one of those houses on day one was somebody's pride and joy.
Yeah.
And they were a symbol of bloody hard work and determination, particularly if they're a migrant house. So you've come to live somewhere else, and you've built a house and you've built it in the style that you want, and that needs to be respected and applauded.
I think that's absolutely fair enough. I mean, you know, the page is about celebrating the architecture of Australia, really, and that's what you do so well.
Thank you.
Now, I've obviously sent you a few along the year. I think that's how we actually met, because I think I've sent you a couple of snaps of my favourite mid-century homes that I've found in my journey of travels.
God, you found some absolute crackers, Damian.
And I love it. So I'm glad to be your unofficial correspondent in, Melbourne. But
that's exactly who you are. You're my house sourcing assistant, Damian.
But now, we obviously share the love of mid-century modernist homes, and, I love going to see them, and, one day I'd really love to have my own one day. That's a bit of a goal of mine. But do you think that these homes are somewhat slipping through the cracks of preservation and history and so forth. Like I get concerned about us losing some of our history with these homes. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Look, I'm no architect. I'm just a weirdo with a camera. And I'm no heritage specialist, and I also have no affiliations with real estate agents or the council. I think, though, that we do need to perhaps revise what the timeframes are on heritage houses that need heritage protection. You know,
Yes.
we can't just be all about saving things that were built by convicts. And there are some really important houses that were built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and even the 90s, which are all so special and so unique and also symbolic of the changes in Australia and the people who moved here and the way a suburb developed. So I think we need to think a little bit outside the box. But that said, it can't be easy having a heritage house. You know, if you've got a lovely house built in 1950s, who wants to cook on a cooker stove? You know, a lot of houses were built without garages.
Yes.
So there needs to be a livable solution. I also think it's really terrific to be able to protect the landscape of a street. Like, there are some streets that I go to, if I squint my eyes, I can imagine exactly what it was like after the Second World War, when they were all built and everyone was standing in their front yards and they didn't have a blade of grass or a tree, but they'd built these houses, and I think they're terrific. And keeping the streetscape of somewhere, I think, is really important. And I do think that's one thing that certain councils in Melbourne do really, really well.
So Sandy, you also just launched a new book, which I have proud to place on our coffee table at Graphico, but tell me, how's it all going?
Well, I think that's very terrific that it's sitting in Graphico. Look, here's my book.
I love it, it's so
I think
cute.
It's in Graphico because it's got the orange aesthetic.
I know, and it suits this car too.
Yeah, it matches.
I had it sitting on the seat before and it just looked right at home on the seat of this car.
Attention to detail is very important.
Absolutely.
In your line of work and my line of hobby.
Yeah.
Yes, I did a book and it looks like that. And it's the photographs that I take with my comments, which are sometimes informative, mostly not informative in the slightest. And I think it's a lovely collection. And since the book was published and the photographs were taken, there are probably 5 houses that no longer exist. So I've accidentally created a history, a record of things that are no longer here.
Well, Sandy, thanks for taking a drive with me today as I test out this little quirky brake on the Citroen. It's been so great to chat and meet you and talk about your life and the amazing page. So don't forget to head to Other People's Homes and buy this book. I've got one here too, so I'm going to bring it up. Other People's Homes. Where do we buy this? Online?
Wherever all good books are sold, so online or in a bookshop. Thank you so much for having me and driving me around in the cool car.
Enjoy. Thank you for joining Drive with Damian, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, maybe we could do a big drive next time.
Absolutely.
To Perth. They've got some great mid-century stuff in Perth.
Well, put aircon in this car and I'll take this.
Okay, watch this space.
See you guys.